In today's television and movie market, female-led stories are everywhere in the best way possible. Most of the time. But for a long while, far too long a while, it was considered rare to find a show that didn't just have a strong female-led character, but one that honestly focused on that lead being a warrior. Enter Xena, warrior princess, who started out as a side character in another series and then became a star of her own show, one that is appreciated to this day. But there are some things you might not be aware of for that show. So, allow us to show you the untold truth of Xena, warrior princess. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Origins. When Xena first showed up as a character on Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, there was no way anyone could have predicted that audiences would still be talking about her decades later. How big of a phenomenon was Xena, warrior princess? Well, Lucy Lawless, who portrayed Xena with inimitable charisma, has since added many credits to her resume, yet her Encyclopedia Britannica entry mentions Xena before any of her other roles. Xena, warrior princess debuted on September 4th, 1995, and ended on June 18th, 2001. It aired in over 100 countries, and generated a dedicated fan base that has kept the show in the popular consciousness for many years. Fan sites such as Xenaville are still being updated, while whoosh.org, which deems itself the birthplace of the International Association of Xena Studies, remains available for all your Xena-related needs. Looking for some real-life fun? Xena conventions are still happening, complete with archery lessons and hiking. Want to contemplate the historical importance of your favorite chakram-wielding princess? Xena's outfit can be found in the Smithsonian Institution. Xena, warrior princess is such a phenomenon, Subaru once referenced the show in a groundbreaking ad campaign. So, as you can see, its impact is huge, which makes it ironic that at one point in time, she wasn't supposed to be around long enough to have her own show, almost killing her off. The character of Xena made her first appearance on Hercules: The Legendary Journeys as a villainous warlord, out to kill Kevin Sorbo's Hercules. Her arc was supposed to end with her death. Instead, the character proved so popular that she earned a spin-off. In the Hercules episode, The Warrior Princess, Xena's fighting prowess is on full display, though her outfit is not yet the iconic one worn in her series. Xena's goal is to seduce Michael Hurst's Iolaus, Hercules' best bud, in order to get close enough to Herc to kill him. In her next episode, The Gauntlet, she finally gets close to Hercules, but in the final episode of her trilogy, Unchained Heart, Xena reforms herself and goes off to make amends for her treacherous past. This wasn't Lucy Lawless's first time on the show, believe it or not. She'd already appeared in a smaller role as Lila, the wife of a centaur in Season 1, Episode 6, As Darkness Falls. Before that, she'd popped up as Lycia in the 1994 Hercules and the Amazon Women TV movie. When the actress originally cast as Xena, Vanessa Angel, became ill, Lawless got the part. The rest is television history. And thank goodness, because while you may not realize it, her impact on the perception of women as warriors on TV and in movies influenced a lot for a long time to come. So her dying as originally planned would have hurt that immensely. But thankfully that didn't happen, and we're all better for it. Demigod? Like Hercules, its parent show, Xena, warrior princess is steeped in Greek mythology. Though it's never said outright, it's certainly implied that Xena might be an outright demigoddess. Her mother, Cyrene, shares a name with a legendary water nymph. Moreover, it's hinted in The Furies that Xena's father is Ares, the Greek god of war. Considering the often flirtatious nature of Ares and Xena's interactions, that would be, not great by current standards, but totally in line with Greek myth. Xena being a demigoddess would certainly explain her beyond human fighting feats, and her ability to hold her own against the various gods and goddesses she encounters and frequently defeats. Granted, doing things like running on top of other warriors' heads with apparent ease may merely mean Xena is super agile, and possibly a wuxia master. As producer Rob Tappert once told the New York Times, Xena's fighting style is based off Bridget Lin's, star of the 1993 Hong Kong martial arts film The Bride with White Hair. However, Xena routinely kicking divine butts puts her on par with a fully powered Hercules. Some godly parentage would make that a whole lot more plausible. Granted, in the eyes of the fans, Xena is already a goddess, but this would be a more lore-filled kind of thing. Just saying. Powerhouse on the battlefield, and the ratings. Xena Warrior Princess began with much promise, having been spun off from a popular action fantasy show based on the strength of 3 episodes and the immense charisma of its star. Hercules: The Legendary Journeys was already solidly established. It managed to head off competition from Star Trek Deep Space Nine and even topped Baywatch. However, it didn't take long for Xena to start surpassing it. Xena eventually joined Hercules in beating out Baywatch in 1996. Besting Hercules was something Xena kept doing, hitting a ratings high of 7.8 the week of February 23, 1997. Eventually, Xena even managed to wrestle the top syndication spot away from the ratings behemoth that was Star Trek: The Next Generation. As reported in the Daily Universe, Rob Tappert told TV Guide, "Our initial goal was to bump off Baywatch as the number 2 show. This is something I never expected to accomplish." Like many shows, Xena Warrior Princess had its ups and downs in the ratings, but it continued to maintain its popularity over Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. Not only did it last longer, its series finale also scored higher ratings. Why does that matter? Well, oftentimes the point of spin-offs is to try and get close to what the original did, and maybe get as dedicated a fan base. But for Xena, she not only outdid her birth show, but she surpassed in all the ways that matter. Ratings, series length, the series finale viewing. That's not to say that Hercules was an inferior show to Xena, though its star has been revealed to be quite a jerk, but rather that Xena connected with people more, and that's pretty cool. The Battle Cry. A whole lot of care went into the development of Xena's character, from what she wears, to who she loves, to her unforgettable battle cry. As Lucy Lawless told People TV, her future husband, Rob Tappert, decided that Xena needed a signature call like Tarzan had. Right around then, Lawless saw a funeral on TV where Arab women were ululating. Ululation is a type of trilling howl used to express strong emotion. In Xena's case, it's used as a clear and intimidating war cry. Lawless couldn't quite mimic what she saw on TV, so she tweaked it into her own thing. Thus, Xena gained her very own Tarzan-style howl. The ululation Lawless heard that fateful day has a name. It's called the Zagrota, and can be heard throughout the Middle East. LGBTQ+ warrior. Xena and Gabrielle's subtextual love story is a big part of why Xena became such a sensation. Though nothing was ever made irrefutably explicit, that didn't stop the LGBTQ+ community from embracing the show wholeheartedly. As Pacific Standard notes, some fans were disappointed that the Xena and Gabrielle characters were never openly queer, a la Willow and Tara of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Still, it can't be denied that Xena blazed a major trail. Though the show doesn't make Xena and Gabrielle's romantic relationship canonical, the comic book series had no such restraints. There, Xena and Gabrielle are portrayed as being in a long-term relationship. Lawless herself described Xena as gay as early as 2003, even deeming the pair to be essentially married. For her part, Lawless has always expressed delight at being considered a gay icon, as she told Out magazine in 2003, "I've always been grateful to lesbian fans for picking up on my show first. I feel they made it hip." And remember, this was the 90s, when having anyone close to an LGBTQ+ lead was not only not heard of, it was frowned upon. So Xena changed that up for a lot of people. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at Xena Warrior Princess and the legacy that it left behind, as well as the hidden details that many casual fans don't know about? Does this make you want to watch the show for the first time? Or maybe for the first time in a long time? What do you remember about the show? And what were your favorite parts? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.